Literally, I have never dreamt of anything more horrifying. Every time I have this dream, I wake up in tears and it feels like it was real.
You call me by my name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah.
I had 3 left behind dreams and a rapture dream. So I guess I'll tell them all in the same video. The very first left behind dream I ever had, and these are 3 of the exact same dreams, I just had them at different points in my life. I actually had this dream when I was a kid. I don't know what age I was, I can't remember, but I just know that I was a kid. So in my dream, basically the rapture has already happened. There's a mass disappearance that has happened, and in the dream, I have a knowing that there's a possibility that the Christians were taken by God, or it's a possibility that there's a mass disappearance that was for another reason. So basically what I'm doing in the dream, I am panicked. Like it is the worst fear that I have ever felt in my life. Like I have never felt anything like this before. Like nothing I've ever felt like in my life. And I also have like an internal knowing that there's some type of like mass panic or mass, what's that word, mania, something like that. There's like a lot of like hysteria, that's the word. There's like some type of like mass hysteria going on outside. I don't hear anything, but it's just like a knowing that I have in the dream. There's like some type of mass hysteria going on outside. Like the entire world is like going crazy. I don't see anything outside. I don't hear anything outside. It's just like an internal knowing. So in the dream, like I said, I am panicked. It just feels like just the worst thing that could have ever happened. So basically in the dream, I am at my mom's house, and in the dream, I know to look for my mom because my mom is a Christian. And in the dream, I have a knowing that if my mom is gone, if she's disappeared, then that means that it was the rapture. If she's gone, then it's the Christians. Like the Christians were gone and they were taken by God. If she's still here, then, I have nothing to worry about. Then, there's some type of other mass disappearance and it'll like settle my, my nerves a little bit. So in the dream, I am just like panicked and I am just running around, like just in complete hysterics, just looking for my mom. So that's just pretty much the dream. That's it. And, I wake up. And I had the dream when I was a kid. I woke up and I was terrified. Like it felt so real. It did not feel like a normal nightmare. And the thing is, I've had like nightmares and things as a child. And you would think that I've had like worse nightmares. Like I used to have like nightmares about like clowns chasing me and things like that. That would be like more scary. Like you would think that these are like more scary dreams. Literally just a dream of, I guess theoretically, it's just like a dream of, oh, it's just a mass disappearance. I'm looking for my mom. It doesn't sound that bad. Literally, I have never dreamt of anything more horrifying. Every time I have this dream, I wake up in tears and it feels like it was real. So, and every time I've had the dream, I wake up and I go and actually look for my mom, call my mom, whatever. So at the time, obviously I was a kid and I'm living with my mom. So I woke up panicked, horrified. I'm still thinking that the dream is real. I'm crying and I run to my mom's bedroom to make sure that she's still there. So, and I'm telling you, I have never, ever, ever had a more horrifying dream, ever. It was the worst feeling that I've ever felt in my life. So I had the dream as a kid. And, years go by, I was a child, never had for a long time, I just didn't have that dream. So, then, like I said, I got, as some of you know, I got baptized like August 28th, I believe, 2022, 26th, 28th. I think it's 28th. And yeah, it was August 2022. And then, a few months later, March, sorry, sun is getting crazy. Okay, so a few months later, March 2022, I have this same exact dream again. The dream that I have not had in years. And at that time, I was turning 31. So it's been like roughly like 15, 20 years. And I have not had that dream. But after I get baptized a few months later, hey girl, after I get baptized a few months later, I have the same exact dream again. And I wake up, same feeling, horrified. I feel like it's real. I feel like it actually happened. I wake up in tears, crying, and I call my mom, and she answers, and I'm just like, oh. Now, mind you, at this time, this is like March 2023. I'm not in the country. I'm traveling. I'm like traveling for a year. So it's even more like of a panic because I'm not even in the country. Like I think at that time I was in Albania. Yeah, the first time I had the dream, I was in Albania. Or the second time. Yeah, I was in Albania. So if she doesn't answer, I'm even more panicked because, it's not like I can just like get in my car and drive to her house, So thank God she answered because I was, again, just terrified, and it feels real, and it feels like, it actually happened. So then I think, okay, well, that's strange. I haven't had this dream, in almost 15, 20 years, and here I am having it again. And then I know I've been baptized. Now, why am I having a dream about being left behind? So, again, I'm terrified, hysterics, crying. And I, talk about it with my mom, don't like really think too much of it. A few days later, I have the same exact dream again. So now at this point, I've had the dream 3 times, 2 times back to back, almost back to back. And now I'm like, okay, God's trying to tell me something. So now I've had the left behind dream 3 times, twice back to back. So I know, okay, this is like urgent, and again, the same exact feeling. It feels real. I am terrified. I again call my mom. Thank God she answered. Cause I'm again, like, making sure that she's still here when it didn't actually happen, So then I like start praying. I'm like, okay, well, God, why are you giving me these like left behind dreams? Because, I'm baptized, I've recommitted my life to God. And at this point I had actually, cut out a lot of things, that I hadn't, cut out before when I was like, calling myself a Christian, so I'm not smoking weed. I've cut off Halloween. I'm not even like listening to like secular music. Like things are like really hard for me. So like I made like a lot of sacrifices, and I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good, So I'm like just praying to God, asking him, why is he giving me like these dreams of me being left behind? And I basically was given two reasons. The first reason, and I talked about this in another video, the first reason was that I needed to repent and also like ask God to like cleanse out my heart, because I I had an issue with, I wasn't ever the type of person that was malicious. I never was like the kind of person that would do things to get back at people or set people up or, lie on them or do mean things. I was never the person that would do it, but I would think it. I would want God to get them back. I would want them to, and this word is Buddhist, so I don't really like to use it, but when I was in the world, I didn't know that. I would want them to get their karma. I would wish bad on them. If I had felt that they had wronged me, I wanted them to just get everything that was coming to them. And that was I think one of the last, things that God was kind of dealing with me on, and how it got revealed to me was there were people that, that I needed to pray for. And the very first thought that I had is, I'm not going to pray for them. They deserve everything that God gives them. And then I immediately felt convicted. I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. To not pray for somebody because you want God to give them back. So that's actually how I ended up fasting, because I was like, wow, that is horrible. I immediately, I was like, oh my God, that is horrendous for a Christian to think that. And that's how it got revealed to me, that thing that was still in my heart. So what I did, I actually fasted for those people. I was like, okay, everybody who, I am holding a grudge against, I'm going to fast for them. And not only will I will fast and pray. And it was actually kind of hard because in the beginning, I was like, oh, I don't want to fast for them. I guess a part of me still was like, oh, but God needs to get them. I didn't want to fast for them. I didn't want to pray for them, but I did it. I forced myself. So I remember it was like a week-long fast. And Monday, I was like, oh, okay, it's hard, but okay, God, I want them to go to heaven. And I really imagine myself, seeing them in heaven, them, getting saved and us just having fun together in heaven. I would imagine that. And, in the beginning, it was just kind of hard. Monday was kind of hard. Tuesday, it was kind of hard, but it wasn't as hard. Wednesday, I was like, okay, this is not so bad. And then by kind of end of the week, I was like, okay, it felt like a relief, whatever type of grudge that I was holding, it was practically gone. You know what I'm saying? And that really just kind of shows the power of fasting and prayer, because every bad feeling that I was harboring was just about gone. I won't say it was all the way gone, but it was just about gone. I'd say 95%. So what I did, even after the fast, I made a list, a prayer list, and I kept them on there. And even to this day, it's been a year, I still have all of those people on my prayer list. And it's interesting because even some of those people, God is giving me dreams about them. So it's not only me just praying for forgiveness for them. And at this point now, I've forgiven them. I don't care no more. God is so good, right? So it's not even just the forgiveness prayer, but it's also just certain things that God has shown me, about them, different things that they just need prayer for, which I obviously won't say. And I'm praying for them for that, and I'm just oh wow, this feels really good, So if any of you are kind of dealing with unforgiveness or harboring any kind of ill feelings towards people, I would highly encourage you to consider doing a fast for the people who've hurt you. It is very freeing. You know what I'm saying? It's very freeing. So that was the first thing that God revealed to me. Unforgiveness. And again, like I said, I was never a physically malicious. I wouldn't go out and do mean things, but I would want it. I would desire in my heart for God to get them back. So yeah, and that was just as wrong. I might as well have set the people up, because to desire it in your heart is, in God's eyes, it's just as bad as if you were to do it yourself. So yeah, so that was the first reason. And then the second reason that God revealed to me why he was giving me those 3 left behind dreams back to back was because he wanted me to know how urgent it was, and that this was something that was going to happen soon. And when I say soon, because, God says soon, and soon to him is like, it could be 1,000 years. A day to him is 1,000 years, So when I say soon, I don't mean, I don't want people to get carried away and think I'm saying, oh, tomorrow. But it's something that is imminent, you know what I mean? Because again, like I had it once as a child, and then now as an adult, I'm having the dream twice back to back. So, that repetition, that like rapid repetition, that was very significant. You do not have to comment, no man knows the day or the hour. I did not predict a day. I did not predict an hour. Please, no one is saying that. I'm only saying to you what I feel that God has said to me, and I'm just being obedient. Do you think that I wanted to get on the internet and start talking about the world's coming to an end? I know I sound like a crazy person. This is not something that I wanted to do. This is probably why it took me a year to get online and post this, okay? So then, this is how we get to the rapture dream that I had. So I did my fast. And then after I did the first fast, I felt led to do a second fast. I was like, okay, because actually, like towards the end of the first fast, I feel God's telling me, okay, tell the whole truth. I think by that, like Friday or Saturday, I cheated a little bit, and I ate before sunset. So I was like, okay, I feel bad. I didn't fully commit the whole week. I ate before sunset towards the end of the fast, and now I want to redo it again and, fast just completely and be fully committed. So that's why I did it a second time. So I did a second fast again. And even the second time, it was like almost like easy peasy. I wasn't like mad, angry, like, oh, God, get them from me. It felt really good. So I did a second fast, and I felt good. I was so proud of myself. I was like even amazed at God, like, wow, the power of like prayer and fasting. Like some of these people I was mad at for years. And then now after like just, 2 weeks of fasting, I felt free. I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. And then I had a prayer request to God, and I said, okay, God, I've done everything you asked me to do. And I even prayed that if there was like anything else, like in my heart or like anything else that I was doing wrong, any like other actions or something, anything else that I was doing wrong that I wasn't aware of, anything else hidden in my heart, to reveal it to me. But I was just like asking God, okay, is there anything else? Like anything else? And I just pretty much felt like, okay, that's pretty much it. Of course, keep being consistent, like always keep a repentant heart. But there wasn't like really anything else that was kind of like hiding in my heart. So I said, okay, well, this is my last request. And I was like, okay, I can understand if you don't fulfill this request. It's completely fine. But my final request is, being that you have terrified me with these 3 left behind dreams, the one thing that I would ask is that you would at least please give me a dream where I'm raptured, where I'm not left behind. It doesn't have to be anything very, spectacular, nothing magnificent. It's just something where I get lifted up and not left down. So I had prayed for that. And months went by. Months, nothing. And I actually didn't like pray for it consistently. I think I just maybe like prayed for it like a few times. And then I kind of felt like a little bad. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't like pray for these kind of things. Because I had saw that other people had like dreams of being raptured. I'm like, well, why are you giving them rapture dreams? And I get all these like terrifying dreams of being left behind. So that's why I had even asked in the first place. So, I only asked, God a few times. And then I kind of felt like, okay, maybe I shouldn't even ask for this. I don't know if this is like wrong, to even like ask that. So I didn't want to keep asking. I had actually completely like, forgot about it. It was months past. It wasn't like on my brain. It wasn't something I was thinking about. Like I said, I just completely forgot about it. Okay, a few months had passed, and I was doing my my 1 month fast, cutting off like secular music, secular TV, and it was like I was only consuming Christian content, scriptures. I was praying, doing praise and worship, all that, like every day. I actually got like so many prophetic dreams that month. It was like crazy. Even like the first couple days, it was, very like fascinating. And some of them were about like some tribulation things. So I'll do like another video on that. So I was getting like a lot of like prophetic dreams around that time. Yeah, I think I was in Athens when I had this dream. So months later, I finally have a rapture dream. And I was just like, I woke up and my heart was just like, I can't even explain to you how I felt. Cause this is like my third, it's like my third kind of dream of heaven, but I'll just tell you what the dream was. So in the dream, and I didn't like hear like horns or anything. Like some people, when they have rapture dreams, they say that they're just kind of like living their normal life, and then they hear horns and they see angels and they just get like lifted up. I didn't like have that experience. Literally, my dream just started with me and like the other saints being just like lifted up. That's just how the dream started. And I just had like an internal knowing that we were being raptured. And I would assume, I don't know this for sure, this is just like a thought, I don't know this. I would assume that when like the rapture happens, that it's just going to be quick. I think like kind of that's how the Bible describes it. But I heard someone say, and I actually kind of believe this too, that the reason why some of us that do have the rapture dreams, the reason why some of us see it slowly is just so God is showing us like in slow motion what's happening. Because if he just shows it to us like in that twinkling of an eye, then we won't really like see what happened. So I think that's the reason why I was seeing it in slow motion, so I can like kind of, I guess, explain to y'all what happened. But yeah, in the dream, it was me. I was outside. It was bright. It was daylight. Not saying that when the rapture happens, that's what it's gonna look like. I'm just saying this is what happened in my dream. It was me, and there were other people around me. We were outside. It was bright outside, and we were like slowly being lifted up. And I just in the dream, I just internally knew that we were being raptured. And then the very next moment, we were in heaven. So I guess maybe that was a twinkling part. I don't know. The very next moment, we were just instantaneously in heaven. In heaven, I knew that I was in heaven, but it didn't like look like how I've seen heaven before. Basically, what I saw was almost like blurred out, and all I saw was Jesus. So it's like I'm standing here, and Jesus is like further back this way, but I can't see his face. It's like a light shining. So Jesus is in a white robe, and his face there's just like light coming out of where his face would have been. So I have no clue what he looks like, but in my mind, I just know that it's Jesus. So I run to him and I'm screaming, Jesus! So I run to him and I like give him like this big hug, and I kind of like jump in his arms, and he hugs me back, of course. And then there's like a next scene is he's showing me that there was just complete chaos on the earth. Like it is like horrifying, chaos everywhere. So then there's a celebrity who like an A-list celebrity, I will never ever say the person's name, was left behind. Now another thing I want to say, I don't know, I don't know if this person will actually be left behind. Maybe God was showing me that so that I would pray for the person so that they wouldn't be left behind. So I do have the person on my prayer list, and just praying for their salvation. But I don't know. But I did see this, very famous A-list celebrity who was left behind. They were studying like basically all of the things that the scriptures say about the tribulation, about, the 7-year tribulation, because now at this point, people are realizing that, okay, like this isn't just like crazy Christian talk, like something has actually happened. And it sparked a curiosity for the people who were unsaved to really start turning over to Christ and reading what the Bible says so that they would kind of be prepared to know what was happening. So the person was reading a letter, and there was a handwritten letter that was left for them. So they're reading a letter that was explaining to them what was all the things that were going to be happening. And after reading that letter, they started reading the Bible and started studying about the 7-year tribulation and all the stuff that was going to happen. And this person gave their life to God. They gave their life over to Christ. And then the next thing that I see, Jesus shows me that they were using their celebrity platform to preach the gospel. They were telling everyone about Jesus. And this is a very big A-list celebrity. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That was the end of the dream. They were talking to everyone. They were on the street, not even just going live on Instagram or whatever. They were literally outside, physically outside on the street, almost like a street preacher, preaching the gospel. So I thought that was a beautiful ending. I guess it just kind of made me sad, of course, that the person was left behind. But yeah, a few months later, I had another dream about this person, and in the dream, the person that they're married to was levitating. So they're definitely into some type of witchcraft. I mean, again, A-list celebrity, so it's those people. So yeah, I've been praying for that person and her husband. But yeah, that was it. That's the Rapture Dream. Those are the 3 left behind dreams. Oh, and another thing that I will say, like I've said before, I think that we should, always just be just in a constant state of repentance, always being right with God. And we have to understand that, again, we don't know when the rapture will be. For all I know, this could happen 1,000 years from now. It may not even happen anytime soon. God may be showing me these things to put it out on YouTube, and I could live into my old age, die, and this video could just be for somebody living in the year 3000. You know what I mean? I swear to you, I'm not trying to, set any type of dates. Again, please, when I get in the comments, talk about date setting. No man knows the day, the hour. We know that. But we do know that we are living in the last days. However long the last days are, last days do not have a time frame. They were saying that they were living in the last days 2,000 years ago. So last days, don't have a limit. You know what I mean? If they were saying that they were living in the last days 2,000 years ago, and they were, and God put that in the scriptures, were they wrong? Were they wrong to say that they were living in the last days 2,000 years ago? You know what I'm saying? God obviously co-signed it since he allowed it to be in the Bible. God didn't think that they were wrong to say that they were living in the last days 2,000 years ago. So we're not wrong now, 2,000 years later, to continue saying that we're living in the last days, So with that being said, just be vigilant. Don't be deceived. There's a lot of deception coming. There's another dream I had about some deceptive stuff. I'll do a separate video on that because I don't want this to be too long. But yeah, just be alert. Don't be distracted. And I just really want to emphasize that we really need to be in a just constant state of repentance, so we're not caught off guard, and we're not living in any kind of sin when either we die or when a rapture happens, So yeah, that's pretty much it. I I had a very interesting dream about an asteroid coming, and it was after the rapture, so, and a tsunami. And I know that there was one recently, but it wasn't a dream about the recent one. I could kind of tell that it was like in like the last days. So I'll do like a separate video on that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. Bye.